a red announcement trailer, and when like they panned over to him and he just kind of stood there, stared at the camera, like cracked his neck, my entire body tensed up. But that man can be a bona fide killer in the top lane. Give this man the Olaf back. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, we'll see if they want to give it to him right now. We are sticking into the draft. Furia versus Red for Wave 4 and RMC. Let's see what the players have for us.
Let's get into it. Milio, Ashe, IU. Remember, IU did play that Ashe yesterday, and Ivern banned as well. Renekton to be taken away from FNB, another champion that he's extremely comfortable on. And it looks like we're going to get, if the hover does come to fruition, the B1 Tristana, which we've seen today as well.
Yeah, we started seeing it a little bit yesterday, but really coming to form today. It is still that flex pit. We've been seeing it consistently in the mid lane. Here's the thing, for I actually like it in the bot lane a bit more, especially in this Kai'Sa meta. I do think Tristana can bully out Kai'Sa early on in the early levels, and once later on, when Kai'Sa gets static shift, gets a couple items, you can still bust a shot, you can still rocket jump away. So there's a lot of tools that Tristana has. In the mid lane, however, she's a little bit more vulnerable. We saw that with the Azir that came through in last game, or when House played it, and sure, you went out early, but later on, Azir does outscale you. Now, Red, they've gone with the Kai'Sa that we were just talking about. Xayah apparently disabled right now, so it's a bit of a ballsy play to me, but so far, nobody's punished the Kai'Sa with the Tristana just yet.
No, and you know, depending on how the rest of these compositions are going to shake out, Titan, well, actually, it doesn't matter how the composition is going to take out. Titan is going to feel impunity to go forward on this Kai'Sa. That's what he loves to do. The man's legendary for his Ezreal historically because it's got a go forward button, and Kai'Sa has a huge go forward button. Aegis going to be on the Vi. Forward we go, RMC. The dive comp is coming to fruition.
Yeah, and we talked about Kai'Sa being countered by Xayah. Rude went great depth into that. Another champion that gets countered by Xayah is Vi, and Vi did get nerfed on the current patch. We mentioned it yesterday as well. Her shield has been slightly reduced, as well as her cooldowns on her ultimate, but she's still a lethal threat to single targets. Another nerf champion is Wukong that Furia picked up. So Red and Furia, oddly enough, don't really feel like we're on patch 13.13.
Yeah, they didn't get the memo.
It's like 13.12, right? Like, they're still picking things that are strong. Last patch, we'll have to see how they really want to continue navigating this. For now, though, Furia setting up for more AoE, more team fight, I suppose, with that Wukong, with that Rel coming through. Whereas Red, Kai'Sa, Vi, those are single target champions. Those are pick champions. Do they double down onto that?
The records for Wukong and Rel coming in today, 15-6, 10-6. Like you said, RMC, the nerfs have come through, but still two really, really strong champions beforehand. See how that shakes out. Both these teams clearly confident enough to pick these things. It's funny because, yeah, Wukong and Vi would have been first round bans pretty much unequivocally last patch, but now they're getting through, and so finally we're going to get to see play for them. Frosty going to lock in the Alistar as a bastion of defense, big body. Silas banned away there from Tuts.
That is kind of interesting, but it does make sense. I mean, we used to see actually Silas picked into Alistar a lot, not for laning, but just because Silas with Unbreakable Will breaks the will of the other team. Yeah, it's so nasty to deal with. Now, the Alistar obviously is a bit, not just a body to block things, but also a counter to Rel, being able to hit better and engage his back. Also a good follow-up for Kai'Sa. You can really get in there quite easily. And now Red looking for their solo lanes. Furia, it's interesting that we see the Silas ban as well, because it kind of suggests that Red thinks that Furia might send that Tristana bot, and Furia still might be looking for their solo laners instead.
Yeah, we're going to see where that Tristana does end up. Ahri and Poppy banned away here. I like the Poppy takeaway into into the Vi, into this dive composition, but a lot of go forward on the side of Furia as well. So Ahri taking
the towel as well. The towel is bread and butter champ up top.
Yeah, no, he loves that Poppy top. Yeah, and I think that when he the Olaf taken away here from FNB. So respecting the fact that he can just hard carry on these types of champions. Let's see what he gets. Oh my gosh. I just keep getting baited by the hovers, but look, Aegis can carry if he wants to. I mean, it is he has locked in the Vi already. Ooh, Vex. Okay, Envy Vex finally.
Okay, is this the first Vex we're seeing in CBLOL this split? I might be getting confused. I know we've seen it. Annie's played it in Academy, but I think in CBLOL. Yeah, this is our first Vex, this split. Okay, 4-4, let's go. Oh! I love it. Our first Rumble?
Yo.
Okay. We're getting so hyped in draft right now. All these new champions coming out, and Rumble got a buff recently in the top lane specifically, where he does do better into bruisers. He got, you know, a little bit more health, a little bit more damage in that sort of overheat sort of status, and a bit more time to get to that overheat. Now, the thing with Rumble is he does need setup, and with Magnet Storm from Rel, this is perfect for Furia to get that hot pot cooking.
Yeah, that equalizer on the way down is sort of what our casters were praising on Yeso and Rudu. They were saying, look, with or maybe it was you talking in the green room actually, with the Rel, with the Ziggs bomb on top of it. I think that was you actually. It's so easy to land. Yeah, no, this team fight actually coming together really well, and you've got champions in the Ezreal and Tristana that are very slippery. You've got a mix of damage types as well. Trajan, what are your thoughts on this this very exciting draft?
Bro, I had to cover my mouth when I saw the Vex come out because I would just shout it and got in your ears and ruined it all. Like, CBLOL Vex is my jam, dude. If we can't have Annie Vex on to Division 1, Envy Vex, next best thing. This guy, this champion is what made me first sit up and think, actually, Envy, this guy is a sleeper hit. This guy cannot be slept on. And the Vex is a big part of that. So I love that. The Rumble as well, also giving us much more different elements to introduce here. Red versus Furia gonna deliver. I am in absolutely no doubt as to that. So I guess we'll see if they can deliver on these picks and show us that the mid lane meta especially is still ready to be just widened a little bit more, you know, with the Syndras, the Azirs, now the Vex coming back in. But of course, we do still have to deal with Kassan today because, you know, it's fun. We can't give up our roots now, can we?
No, and someone say we can't have nice things. No, this champion, in fact, locked in R5 on the other side of things. So, this should be a lot of fun. Look, Furia kids, man, they're throwing stability out the window. We're going to have a lot of fun with this game. I know I'm certainly getting my money's worth as a play-by-play. I'm very excited about this. Yeah, not the cleanest kind of, you know, traditional front-to-back team fight, but like you said, for Furia, there's a lot of setup for some heavy-hitting abilities.
Here's the thing, 404. You said, why can't we have nice things? I think we're going to have nice things. I'm happy we're not just getting front-to-back compositions, because we get a lot of that in CBLOL. But this time, hands, mechanics, all of that's going to matter a lot more. And what better teams than Furia Kids, the youthful energies, versus Red, the top team right now.
Super team versus the kids. This should be a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, it's so encouraging. It's like a warm blanket seeing Envy and then a portrait of Vex under his name. I'm like, I'm home. I remember I've casted so many games of this over the years. Like Trajan said, this is a champion that we are very comfortable with. For those of you just tuning in that maybe haven't followed CBLOL super long before we get some shenanigans here, go to YouTube, look up Envy, Vex, Quadra Kill. No time to get too much more into that, though. Zay gonna take some damage. Frosty, the two supports get hit with the brunt of the damage. No summoners blown, and that's the important bit.
Yeah, just kind of walking into each other, checking things out. Now, we talk a lot about Envy and Vex specifically, but let's turn nameplates off for a second, 404, and talk about how these compositions are going to interact. Let's start with Red, because we got super hyped. The Vex works really well with the Kai'Sa. Both of them are going to go in. And even better is Vex can deny a lot of the escapes that a Tristana that an Ezreal would want to use. If they get feared, it's so much easier for Kai'Sa and Vex to burn them down, get the resets running for this Vex. So really good dive comp, death ball composition from Red Canids. Now the problem is, Furia saw that and picked Rumble. And now Rumble can mess them up a lot. The Magnet Storm's already going to lock everybody in place, but now you have to play into the red carpet. And while red carpets are real nice, in League of Legends, the red carpet burns, and it hurts a lot to try and play into that. Envy, Titan, on Kai'Sa and Vex, these are tanky champions. They will die if they have to sit on that red carpet for the entire duration.
Listen to this crowd. Furia, Furia. They are loving this from the Furia kids. Yeah, these are guys that, especially guys like Beton, obviously IU has a bit of a cult following all over the world. Zay going in immediately on level 2, taking it right to Frosty, but Titan dealing back a ton of damage. The Ignite actually goes down. He might be in trouble here. Bit off more than he could chew. Oh, the heal is going to bail out Zay. As Titan not able to get enough damage down. I thought that was going to be a sit down, son. Remember whose bottom lane this is moment from Titan.
Yeah, and you can take IU out the support role, but his support instincts are still on point. That heal, they waited, they baited, they wanted to get the flash out of Titan, and then the heal came out, and you saw, oh, Titan's like, I don't actually have to go pressure. Really well played from IU and Zay. And
did he wait out the entire Ignite?
I don't know if he waited out the entire thing, but I would believe it if he told me he did.
Now a little jungle combat here. Ooh, gets the clone over into the pit. Aegis bullied out of his jungle by Goot. He's going to walk away with the wolves. Now, well, maybe not, but at least he knows the junglers know where they are. So if Goot gets a ward down, now the trinket on cooldown. Aegis feeling comfortable enough to walk back in with the support of Titan and Frosty. There you go. Yeah, shadowing that with the creeps frozen in the middle of the wave.
Yeah, but this is coming at the expense of Titan and Frosty's lane control. And as you can see, the moment they kind of walk away, Ayu and Zay started pushing in. And once they get that shove going, they actually can go and reinforce Goot as well. So really well played from Furia in this early game to get themselves a jungle lead. Aegis, of course, very experienced jungler in his own right. The moment they realize that, wait, hold up, I'm not going to win this fight on this bot side. He's trying to answer on the top lane instead. And right now, FNB, Envy, they need to start getting Cryo to back up Aegis.
Yeah, and Aegis is going to grab this Scuttle Crab. He doesn't have his smite up, so has to take the long way. He's going to walk over a ward. Okay, I thought maybe he was going to go up to that top side with Betal pushed up. FNB taking the Doran's shield into the Doran's ring, taken by Betal, taking Comet as well, just trying to make FNB's life very difficult here. We might get these junglers colliding again in this west quadrant of the jungle.
Aegis is safe. He got it low enough, fast enough, and Furia, interestingly, didn't actually rush over to cover that right away. We did also see FNB start expending a lot of mana to get that shove to make sure that we can cover, and now... Okay, the ward gets cleared, gets spotted. Betal should know better than to push up here.
Yeah, Furia, they've been doing a good job, like you said. But both teams, like you said, Aegis very experienced, knowing exactly where he's got to go. Got caught right back up immediately, so he's completely even with Goot at this point. And actually, Goot hits level 4 a lot later just now than Aegis did. And Aegis hit level 4 off taking the blue buff, but Goot is going to be the first one to get that reset, grab himself a Sheen, as well as that control ward. Dragon up in about 10 seconds here. You see them prioritizing this lane very much, right? Kaisa a little more focused on the early game. Frosty, he's a stalwart with the Alistar, can take a lot of abuse. You see the pings coming down on the bottom lane.
Yeah, they're trying to call to make action happen down there right now, because Ayu and Zai have been doing a pretty good job of it. And I think for Furia, they do have to be very aware of their windows. One thing we didn't touch on, Ezreal is not a good answer into Kaisa. In fact, Kaisa used to be the counter to Ezreal because you can Killer Instinct, hunt him even through that Arcane Shift. Now, Ayu and Zay being able to put down the pressure early is massive for them. That's not normally how this lane actually runs. And they do have to be aware once you hit level 6 as well, that they will probably no longer win that. So if Goot wants to influence that lane, he has to do it pre-6.
Both junglers at level 4. Zay has hit level 4 himself. Ayu a little bit ahead in this one. Up 8 CS with the range advantage of the Ezreal. Learning low on mana, right? With the tier, without the tier, you don't have quite as much of that regen. Nor is it safe to just fling your spells out. Both mid laners have hit level 6, probably the most crucially. Obviously, the Shadow Surge from Envy, such a big team fight killer. Like you said, the dive, and once you're in with the fears, with the doom and gloom, what you can proc is a little silly as far as just zone control. Almost like an off poppy, right? You can just lock people in place that thought otherwise they might have an escape. Hang on a second, Tuts. Making it hurt there on Envy. Aegis and the rest of Red starting up the Dragon. Yes, RMC.
Oh, that's priority. I was going to say for Furia, being able to shove that out. Red is in a bit of trouble here trying to start this one. They might get collapsed on.
Oh my goodness, Frosty's in a lot of trouble. He's got the Ignite taking down on him. Saves the flash till the last second, but now might spell doom for Red here. Goes back in. Knew he was a dead duck anyway and tried to get some CC down for the rest of his team. Envy goes back in, gets a lot of damage there out of the fear, but Titan might be dead. No, just kidding. Wow, the equalizer over the top. Betal out of nowhere. It's a double kill, and 4 go over for Furia. Disaster for Red.
A disaster that Red opted into. Frosty looked for that for the re-engage, pardon me. They thought they could win it, but Furia was on point and they were moving together. 4x4, Furia. This reminds me of game 1. Furia took an early lead and they kept on pressing. And for Red, we were just praising them for mechanics and teamwork. Well, this wasn't the teamwork we wanted to see.
No, this looked, I mean, they looked frazzled, like you said. I mean, I don't know what the impetus was there for Frosty to go back in. Maybe he was just trying to peel with his last breath, but he gets caught here, right? Zay and then Ayu walks right up, and Frosty's just doomed. They got to get out of this.
I already was shocked that Frosty got out alive with that flash, and I thought right here, Aegis and Titan disengaged. You're back out safe, but you saw Frosty on that top side, and I mean, Titan was perfectly fine. The problem too was Red double down. Envy getting in looks great. He did a huge pop of damage, but didn't actually get enough to reset and keep doing the damage. And of course, once the top laner showed up, Cassante Rumble, there's no contest. Rumble is the team fighter in the top lane. Used to pick him for Equalizer to win every single objective fight. Cassante, great and good, but you're more of a 1v1 style duelist, or maybe even a 2v2, rather than these big early 5v5s.
He just walked away with the scuttle crab there. Yeah, Beton, I mean, he came down with, I don't know if all those components, but at least had the Sork boots, just flat pen equalizer all over those low health targets. I mean, it was like no one's got any sort of resistances except FNB, and they just get absolutely schmelted. Envy might be in a little bit of trouble here, playing respectfully though, knowing with the extra bodies and no idea where Goot is, that he might be next on the menu. Furia, how about it, man? I mean, like they opt into this isn't exactly what I thought we would have seen if you would have told me, oh, Furia's going to have a 4-1 lead, a 2,000 gold lead, as you see on the bottom of your screen there. The next match, Loud versus Pain, going to be a banger and a half. You're going to want to stick around for that one. Yeah, but I didn't think Furia was going to get it like this. Red trying to get something back here. Ayu holds onto the arcane shift, gets out of trouble. Frosty taking a lot of tower hits, though. He might be in trouble here. How about Ayu holding the arcane shift to the last second and making Frosty pay? Now Zai getting bullied here by Aegis, but he finds his way to Ayu, protects his AD carry.
Oh man, and for Ayu right now, keep in mind, Ayu is actually technically a rookie, right? They just started this year, went from support to AD carry, so technically it's his first AD carry split in CBLOL, and competitive, because he role swapped to support in the first place to even get onto an academy team. And this guy has nerves of steel, goes up against the most experienced AD carry in CBLOL this split, Titan. A monster, a beast in his own right, who hard carried the first time Furia faced off against Red this split. And if he can continue doing that, sure, Kai'Sa might be a counter to Ezreal, but maybe Titan isn't a counter to Ayu.
I mean, look, I put on Twitter the first time these two teams played, Ayu Flame Horizon Titan. Was it because he had triple inhibs worth of minions just shoveling gold into his pockets? I'm not here for the details. Titan was Flame Horizon by a rookie RMC. Yeah, we talk about champion counters, but is this the player counter? Furia, either way, up a healthy amount here, right? And it's not by just trying weird shenanigans. It was just a really bad early game call by Red.
Yeah, and the thing with Red too is that the game's not over for them. 4-1 looks really, really rough, but look at how Red are rotating as well. They're still active. They're still trying to make plays happen. Frosty knew he was head on the board. Wasn't looking to engage on that one. The way back for them involves pick. We mentioned it before. Vi, Kai'Sa, Vex, all really good at picking off single targets, isolated targets, anybody who spreads out. So Furia has to be aware of that, and they're taking that, putting down vision. Right now, they're making sure they can track where everybody on Red is, and when they rotate, they're rotating together with numbers. Look at Zai and Good kind of buddying up for the buddy system right now, and even when they leave Ayu alone, it's because they know where Aegis and MD are.
Yeah, if there's a champion you can leave alone, it is that Ezreal. But Ayu, oh my goodness, that just went horribly wrong. Literally nothing that Zai tried to do went correctly in that one. Ayu's gonna get some damage there on the end. But yeah, but Zai on these engaged supports, functioning as that second jungler. But Tao smells something fishy in the river. Something just touched my foot. Wait, wrong champion. Betal throws the Electro Harpoon out. Never mind, I thought he knew that something was up here, but he gets absolutely played like a fiddle. Throws down the Equalizer, and it does jack squat. Aegis helping FNB get a kill up top.
You know, we're just praising Furia for being able to track where people were. So they knew Aegis wasn't around the bot side, and we thought Betal had it, but Betal, I think, mind gave himself a little bit and was like, no, I'm safe. I step up here. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. Furia did pick up Herald earlier, will be dropping it. The first brick in that bot side. Oh, bang!
Yeah, a lot of gold there for Furia. And for the bottom lane, it's exactly where you want it to go. Ayu well on his way to that mid-game super spike that he's going to get once he gets whatever on-hit item he builds. Probably going to be that, it's going to be that Triforce. Literally, as I just stare at the components, I can do that in my head. Thank you, Ayu, for not making me look dumb. And then once he gets that Muramana online, he's going to hit that first big peak. And then the late game Ezreal, obviously, is insane. And with mechanics as good as Ayu has, you can bet your top, bottom, and middle dollars that he's going to be one of them that carry them into the late game. We haven't talked about Tuts a lot, RMC. And we might actually not get to because Red are starting up this dragon. Hopefully this one goes a little better than the last one. They did get the first one for what it's worth. The fight afterwards was a disaster. Gonna back off this one. Yep, thanks for the leash. You learn from your mistakes, but at what cost?
Yeah, and how much did you learn? Because Red
Yeah.
still opted to start out the Dragon in the face of Furia barreling down at them. This time they respect it a little more, but I'm going to be honest right now, Red's composition, because you didn't get the lead, does not have the right to do this. Are you?
Oh my goodness,
It's a
that's so
pick!
much dive out of the Ezreal.
Oh.
Stop it. That should not be doing that much damage early. Envy making that Ludens pop.
Okay, that's a pick we're talking about from Red, and I didn't even think Ayu was that far away, but even with the flash, the heal, the arcane shift, none of it matters in the face of the strength of a Vex and a Kai'Sa, and this is why we were hyping it up. And with that, Red are still behind. 4-4. They get the pick, good for you, gold. But you didn't get the objective, and what else can you find? Can you actually pressure in on any turrets?
They're just looking for these picks. Aegis and Frosty, look at them, man. They're just lurking. They wanted to catch Tuts. Like you said, still very much behind. Look, they're crawling back, and Furia, they are up 1 tower to 0. But you saw just how much gold was injected off that Herald play, right? They got that, and then they got a ton of gold into the bottom lane. That got Ayu to his mythic item. First item completed for everybody on the side of Furia. Meanwhile, FNB hasn't had a chance to get that reset and get that Frozen Fist going. Zay just posturing a little bit here. But I do
actually
also,
holding my breath on that.
yeah, I thought maybe that could have gotten ugly there. Aegis.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, maybe we will get a fight here. It'll be a 3v3. Crash down. Magnustorm still up here for Zay. But no dice. And here we go. That's the stat I was looking for. Okay, so it's actually not that much of a difference. But it does just balloon what is that early lead? About 2,500 for Furia here in the early game. Do want to point this out, though. Titan, not messing around with that AP Kai'Sa shenanigans. He's going full AD Kai'Sa. Respect, my man.
Yeah, yesterday we saw one of those, and it was one of the few Kai'Sa wins we've seen. B-Boy building the Kraken Slayer on-hit build. I think that's just better right now. I think Static Shiv is a little bit baity, and normally I'm not a big fan of Kai'Sa AD build either, because I think like most other ADs, you can pick another AD carry which does similar but maybe better. But in this case, because of the Ezreal, because of the Tristana and the ability to get hunted down, the lack of a true tank on Furia, I actually really like this from Titan. I think it's a great pickup. It's an opportunity for them to try and get back in. Now, fight happened to top side, but nothing really came of it. Unbreakable Will was burned, and Furia are going to try and leverage that for another objective, for another team fight around this area.
And Red just sacking it. Like you said, the Unbreakable Will was burned. It's not going to be back on cooldown for a little while here. So both Heralds going over to Furia as they extend their lead here. It's creeping up to about 3,000. They have vision onto Aegis. Do Furia. They see the pings coming down onto him. They know that he's there. He's looking for some sort of angle. 4v4, that's probably not going to happen. Meanwhile, the mid laners, Tuts and Envy, up to the top side they go. TP's still up here, yeah, for Batal and FNB. Man, we're waiting for that big fight. Feels like this is about to burst. Red do catch up a little bit, though. Back to down to just 2,000 gold. FNB getting a lot of solo gold there on the bot side.
Yeah, just able to push. Batal has been farming very, very effectively, though. Batal has a better shove, so even though we see FNB doing more turret damage, we're actually seeing Batal up in CS because Batal just shoves and walks away, and that will benefit him a little bit more as the lanes get longer. Now, Purple, I mentioned the team fights. Hold up.
Oh, man, more picks. Oh, Aegis over the wall. Zay, he's a dead ducky. Another kill for Aegis, and now the scoreboard is even as far as the kills are concerned. Again, Red isolate and destroy.
I can already tell. I'm not going to be happy with Red this game, 4-4. Not because they're not doing well, but because there's going to be a lot of interruptions with the way their composition functions. So, Furia. The reason why it feels tense is because Furia need to find a team fight. Individually, well, we see what happens. Red is going to win a lot of these small skirmishes. These picks, Furia doesn't have enough burst damage to burn down a single person 1v1 or 2v1. Their composition wants that big Wombo combo fight, and we mentioned before, Rumble excels at objectives. Get to a place, set up, and you take it. So, Furia is the one building tension. Red is going to be the one popping off with these solo picks where they say, oh, you're on your own? Well, you're dead. And you can see the engages are starting to come out from a screen away. Reminder to the viewers, what we see is zoomed out. It's about double what the players see. So if it looks like a screen away on our screens, for the players, it's coming out absolutely nowhere.
Well said. I think that's a very good thing to remind the viewers of. I think even when I'm watching League of Legends and when I'm casting League of Legends, you think, oh, how did you not see that? But things like, you know, the full God vision that you have when you're observing, yeah, and the fact that it is very zoomed out. I know that in my head, but in in my heart, I don't. Bay right into the middle. Not able to break down that mid-tier 1, but decent Herald usage. That one is on its last limbs.
Yeah, and that one's more of a timer issue. You took the Herald earlier. You're running out of time to get put down. It also did give them access towards this dragon, the priority to go for it. Now, Furia, do you have to be careful about mid? Red is making really good macro choices. They know they weren't in position to contest this, and they say, fine, you go for dragon, we'll push right into mid the entire time. Envy was split pushing top side as well, so they actually managed to answer a turret. Furia, though, are trading blow for blow, because Tuts pushes faster than Envy, so Envy might have started sooner, but Tuts will still answer with a turret of his own.
Yeah, the dragon was the punch. The top lane tier 1 was the counter punch. The bot lane tier 1, almost the counter punch there. And you saw that in...
and mid.
Yeah, and mid goes down. The counter to the counter punch, right? When Red, after Red took that reset, Furia, decisive immediately. Ooh, Aegis maybe has another pick here. Just kidding. Oh my goodness, that was almost disaster. My entire body released a lot of tension right there.
You just keep running, don't stop right now.
No. But again,
Yeah,
RMC,
like
you talked about Red's rotations. Little by little, I keep checking the goal. Now we're down to 1,000.
Yeah, it's slow, and Furia is still punching. But one thing we haven't touched on too much is the fact that Red Canids are finding places to funnel gold into their players. Titan struggled in lane earlier on. Zay and Ayu did such a good job, trying to bully out Frosty and Titan, but all that's been equalized. Now Titan is actually ahead, and one thing we didn't touch on for Ezreal, the power spike, the mid-game power drop, that he has, right? With the tier right now, that's not combat stats. He needs that mirror mana. Until that happens, Furia are on the back foot when it comes to all these side lane shenanigans.
And that goal graph right there, kind of illustrating that. Yes, it's been the picks from Red, but it's also been the fact that, yeah, Ayu isn't really that teamfight monster. You talk about how Furia, they want those extended teamfights. They absolutely do. They want that wombo combo. But right now, Ayu is playing with a bit of a sunk cost. Okay, the Mura mana is there, but until that's a mana moon, again, you're still sitting on a little bit of dead money. And like you said, RMC, Titan up 20 CS. Red just being very methodical, very surgical with their rotations and their allocation of gold into a pause. Oh, nothing kills tension like a pause.
Come on, yeah, we were just ramping up.
We were ramping up. We were going, man.
The teams are ramping up. I was just about to put out the point as well that, yeah, as you rightly mentioned, the mana being completed, that power drop, this is the timer, the window that Red get to try and abuse Furia as much as possible. They want to win a team fight. If they want to take a dragon, now's the time to do it, because Furia, okay, yes, Rumble does fall off, but the team fighting composition from Red at an objective is still kind of weak, and dragon stacking, I think right now, is looking like the main win condition for Furia.
Yeah, let's see if they can get it. I mean, they got to be first one to those objectives, and they've got to go as a unit, right? And if Red, I kind of counter-identify that, if you will, then they can just dive on them if Furia don't approach the objectives with the right amount of respect. Wow, that looks extremely hot.
What?
Man.
Who is that? What character is that?
I have no. Is that a turret? Maybe it's like a Galio, or do you think it's like a turret, like the actual like Sentinel, the physical tower? It's
yeah, it does
Zed.
kind of look like that. Oh,
Zed, says our producer. Okay. Yeah, with the mask. Okay. Yeah, yeah, but like you said, it's just it's a reskin of the Zed there. Yeah, wow. The fans out in full force as well. We heard earlier the dueling chants of the Furia and the Red fans. Red, a little more storied in CBLOL. Furia, a monster Oregon, a bunch of other esports as well. A huge footprint, one of the biggest in Brazil. RMC, kind of zooming out here, and there's the Jin right next to it. Nice. Yeah, okay. No, now I see it's Zed. Now I feel dumb. Because, yeah, once I saw, like, the actual gauntlets with the blade on, I'm like, okay, of course that's Zed. Very well done. I cannot imagine how much sweat is pooling in that suit. That's the only thing I can think about right now. Because, I don't know, maybe it's because I look outside and it is just pouring rain, like 90% humidity where I am in the U.S. right now, and I feel stifled already, so that's not really doing me much good. But we're back on the rift, so I can shut up. Obviously, the gold lead is back even. Woohoo!
Yeah, and like we mentioned right before, or right at the beginning of that pause, Red, this is their window to make things happen. A lot of turrets have gone down. The outer turrets for both teams have been completely exposed, and that opens up a lot of space for these teams to play. Now, who gets what advantages? Red will get the advantage anywhere where they can find Furia in less than 3 members. And for Furia, they get their advantage in choke points. Don't forget, if Rumble can catch anybody on Red in a choke point, not a lot of them have mobility to escape. They've got a lot of go in buttons, not a lot of go out.
Yeah, it's these one-way trip supports we talk about, right? The Rel, the Leona, sometimes the Nautilus as well. It's not like Rakan, you can get in, get all your damage down, and then hoover yourself right back out, but you're not as big as those other supports. Yeah, Red setting up in front of this Baron. Not sure if they're going to play for the actual take, probably for the flip. Guten say, maybe in a little bit of trouble here. And down on no pixel brush. Yeah, Furia actually maybe think they've got it here. Betal trying to zone out. Like you said, they've got that advantage at the choke point. I was waiting for the equalizer to come down. Frosty just getting ripped through right now. Tuts doing a lot of damage there with that Tristana.
Yeah, and 4-4, that kicks off because of vision, right? Furia was split. Red didn't see that. What's happened, unfortunately. So instead of collapsing in on Betal and I think it was Goot who was on the back end there. Instead of collapsing in on those members, they kind of kept running away because they don't want to pick a 5v5, not knowing it would have been a 5v2 or a 5v3. And now Fury have full control over this Baron pit. Red, if they want to even clear the vision, they got to think twice.
IU playing a little more respectfully here. Guten Betal tinkering with the vision. They might have a picker on a Frosty. He throws the ward down and immediately sees it. He's in trouble. Protobelt forward. Damage just with the Protobelt and the Comet. Maybe an empowered auto there from Good. Yeah, Frosty's taking a lot of abuse this game, man.
That's what happens when you play Alistair. Your tankiness comes from Unbreakable, though. He hasn't even completed his first item yet.
Exactly, yep.
So when it's down, Frosty, you don't get to step up like that.
You can milk those if you don't have Unbreakable well down.
Hey man, it's a hot day. We all want ice cream. That's all I'm saying.
I can't say that with a straight face. It makes me so uncomfortable. FNB.
You said it unprompted. I didn't even bait you into that.
No, I know, which is why I'm questioning a lot of my decisions right now. Red posturing without their top laner. FNB does have his TP up. Got a pretty good KDA. I think his best KDA game was on this champion, either this or the Scion. And, you know, we want to see more carry champions out of FNB because it's a lot more fun. But the reality is he has performed better on these sorts of champions. And we talked about it a little bit in the green room. Maybe the way the KDA is calculated, right? If you are a beefier champion, you die less. And so that's going to inflate your KDA. Red, yeah, fully committing to this this split push here. They don't want to collapse the 4v5. What do Furia want to do? They see that maybe they've got the window going forward here. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, Red throw everything over. Betal gets nobody with the equalizer. Goo goes forward, lays out a lot more CC, but this is a 5v4. They're just going to shred through the monkey and then go right in. Shadow surge forward, tagged on the touch.
Oh,
good night, sweet prince. Envy with the Vex. This man is lethal on this champion. IU playing backwards just as best as he can. That is a lot of damage, but it's not enough. Toots will escape with his life, but Red pounce.
The patience from Red on that play, and this time, finally, they actually have proper vision to make it work. Guess who didn't have vision 4x4? Betal didn't have enough knowledge or information of where to land the equalizer. And we call it an equalizer for a reason. Hit it, and you win the fight. Lose it, and well, things can go the other way.
Yeah, he got absolutely nobody with that. I do want to see a replay of how the rest of that fight materialized and like where FNB teleported in, because that was something that I missed, because I was so concerned
you shall
with,
receive.
Yeah, these numbers. Thank you, observers. So we see here, Furia have the numbers advantage, but as soon as the fight kicks off, you see the equalizer gets nobody, and FNB TP's in.
So the ward, I think, came out just a little bit before or after Betal equalizing. He didn't actually have the vision, and you can see Red know their win conditions. Get those resets rolling. Envy as well. Huge props to him at the start of that fight. The way he kind of waited and baited the Rel for Zai to kind of come into him and pop through. Look at how happy Titan is. He got set up for perfection between him and Envy. They can repeat this over and over again. All they need to do is make sure that they have vision.
Oh no, and now Betal caught out in a side lane.
Yep.
Titans the pie, the desperation equalizer out of nowhere. Okay, but they do get FNB able to jump onto the Red Canids top laner. First death of the game for him. That's not going to be great for his KDA. But still, Red very much in control of this. They've got 4 Barret buff on 4 members, and they are barreling down these side lanes.
Okay, but if Furia can answer or can take a 1-for-1 every time they remove a Barret buff, that's a win for Furia as far as you're concerned. Problem is, look at the gold. We were talking about Furia being in the lead early. They were up, what, 2,000-3,000 gold? They're now down 5,000 gold almost, and it's not going to get better. The Baron power play has been great for Red so far.
3,000 Magnet Storm in. I'd say doing what he can. There goes a shutdown for Tuts, and now Frosty in some trouble. Pops the Unbreakable Will, goes over the wall with the flash. Tuts follows him. Blast Cone with the Chemtech Rift. gets so much distance and just straight up saves the red Canids.
Frosty has actually been an absolute magician this game. Houdini. He should have died a lot more than he actually has. There's only one death there. And he keeps getting away. Unfortunately, Envy, not so much. Envy was the definite #1 target when Furia went in for that engage. And props to Furia, they stopped that push. They actually nullified that Baron power play. I was expecting a 5k differential, or 6k, pardon me, by the end of it. It's not. It's only about a 4k. It's a 4k, which is a lot better than it could have been.
Exactly, but the point you're making is that this could have been a lot worse. So 2,500 gold power play, so they're up about 4,000 gold. But Furia still, you know, they've got the dragon stack going. Is that feels like it's mattering a lot less right now?
Kind of. Part of it's unfortunately that it is this Chemtech soul as well, which isn't as beneficial for their composition. You don't care about the tenacity as much. And it's a ton of health bars. So usually you're going to get insta-popped, or you're just going to be alive and hold on. You're not going to benefit that much from that Drake. What's more important to Furia is trying to clear out those Drakes as fast as possible, because the win con hasn't changed. Furia still has a really good team fight. It's not like they fall off. Only Rumble's damage kind of falls off. And I say kind of because Red have a lot of squishier members who will still get roasted by it. The problem is we're seeing is that they have a hard time pinning Red to a fight. And for these dragons, notice that Red hasn't even bothered showing up for most of them. They went for the first two, and that was kind of it. Since then, they're just like, oh, Furia, you want dragon? Go ahead, take it. You can do that for these dragons. You can't do that for Elder. So Furia want Elder on the table as soon as possible.
Yeah, talk about an equalizer. It's the Elder Dragon. Titan looking for the solo. Bolo goes right in. Takes out Ayu. Good will avenge his bottom laner. But my goodness, Titan going man mode on the rookie.
I'm going to be honest, trading 1-for-1 on 80 carries at this point in the game means absolutely nothing. Like, you're not going to be able to get anything off of it. But the mental advantage. Titans get it, and now use it.
That was just personal. That was just ego. He was like, I can kill him, therefore I will.
I wish we had an immediate Titan cam, because by the time we pan over Titan, he's just drinking. It's coffee. It's another day.
Double TP in. FNB in a little bit of trouble. Frosty coming to provide an extra body. Magnet Storm down. Damage laid down for touch. There goes the Equalizer as well. He's got the Leandry, or the Demonic Embrace, excuse me. So that's going to help take through this health bar. Envy going back in with the Shadow Surge. Pops over. Gets that reset like you were talking about, RMC. That's what they're looking for. Zai laying down very good CC. Able to take down the Red Canids mid laner. And now Betel with the Flame Spitter. Oh, there you go. Roast beef is on the menu for Betel. And now he's looking for a little something extra. But we'll settle for just a wave.
Correct me if I'm wrong, in Brazil, you guys like your steaks well done?
I actually don't know what the preference is. I don't really like them well done, but that's certainly what you got right there.
True. That was very well done from Betal to be able to turn that one. Beautiful play from Furia, and they're showing that, hey, we can still hand check you. Again, as long as we've got enough numbers, we are willing and ready to take any fight that Red is going to throw their way. This wasn't the replay I thought we were going to get. But it's a nice one to watch anyways, because that happened in a blink of an eye. Titan from literally, as we mentioned, about 2 screens away, coming in onto Ayu.
Okay, here's the Ayu cam. Yeah, he's doing his best. Ayu is a stone cold fox. He's not going to show any emotion. Meanwhile, Titan is going to show every ounce of emotion that he can. Okay, he knows he died here. Let's see if he pops off afterwards. Oh, okay, fine. Focusing on trying to get out.
Not gonna lie, part of me was wondering if Titan went, oops, I didn't mean to do that after you went it. Like, we see that in Lee syndrome.
He pressed R, he was like, shoot, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I just burnt out to trade 1-for-1. But no, you can see from Titan, he intended to do that. What he wanted to get from it, I'm not sure. But he got a kill, and he seemed okay with it.
10-10, the lead down to 2,000 for Red, and indeed that Chemtech Soul has been picked up. They want an Elder on the table as fast as they can, RMC. That is 5 minutes and change away. The Baron will be on the Rift in just about 5 seconds. Furia gonna try to get themselves a mid-tier 2. That's not nothing, but Red have the damage and then some to shred right through here. They are taking this down in no time flat. What is the response that Furia has? This could be where the game breaks open. It's been a good one between these two teams. Envy looking for the flank. Frosty gets the headbutt down. There goes the Equalizer. The taking damage is enough. No, Aegis is going to secure it for Red Canids. Envy still looking for the angle there. Cyclone for Goot will take down FNB. They are down a member. They're down their main tank. Titan is in trouble. The vision is on him, but there's nothing with the range enough to take him down. So 4 members still standing for Red.
I cannot believe that Red only lost FNB. FNB went down, but he bought so much time. And more importantly, Titan got out. That is insane to me that Titan wasn't punished. Sold his stopwatch as well now that it's been broken. Red was looking for the flank but couldn't quite find it, and Furia, the equalizer from Batao, was so well placed. We had questions about Batao. You know, can you play something that's lane dominant and still have that team fight impact? This game certainly been able to pull off both, and they got really close with that Baron power play. A little bit more, they could have done it. They got one more shot in 4 minutes at that dragon.
This is going to be interesting. That ult is going to be very much up. I think we're going to see ping-ponging these waves back and forth as this one has evolved into a certified banger. RMC, you talked about it before the game even started. These two teams played the longest game of the split until yesterday, when Furia, they now hold the record for #1 and #2. And the way this game is going, I wouldn't be stunned. We still got a long way to go. It's going to have to take probably close to 15 or 20 more minutes of this, but it has been really close. 5 Drakes have gone up, 5 Drakes have gone down, but the all-important one is that Elder Drake, of course, in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And after this banger, we get another one. Oh, this league just keeps on delivering. Loud versus Pain. O Clássico das Multidões. The Clássico of the multitude. The 2 biggest fan bases in Brazil. The 2-time back-to-back finals rematch will be on your screen in just about half an hour, no matter how this game goes. And I'm very happy that I will not be casting that one, so I can just sit back and enjoy it as a fan, because I have a feeling my voice is also going to be gone by the end of this game. But I get a week off next weekend, so I'm chilling. We're going to leave it all on the Rift for this one, which is shaping up to be a heck of an ending.
Yeah, and the way the pressure is coming down as well for it does feel like it's going to be one incredibly explosive fight. You're talking about maybe even a 3rd record for Furia there, aiming to pick up all the longest games, I guess, but I don't know if we're going to see that, because I think the Elder Drake is going to be so explosive that the winner of that just ends the game within the duration of that battle.
Yeah, no, as I said that, I was thinking that, right? And it depends how that fight goes, obviously. Okay. And we have seen some close fights, right? We've seen some knockdown, drag-out 5-0 fights, but we've seen some much closer ones as well. Furia, they're still looking for that wombo combo, right? IU can lay down a ton of damage. Tuts as well has been a bit of an unsung hero. We have talked about him. It feels like almost nothing, but he's got himself 3.5 items, and look at all that true damage that's going to come through, all that shred with the Kraken Slayer. The Navori's going to make the ability haste so much better. Oh, baby. Aegis going right over there onto Zai. They think they got a pick on him, and indeed they might with Titan showing up. I think Zai's just toast. He used the Magna Storm down, and there goes the overlay launching from Goot. Titan is going to pop the Guardian Angel there from Aegis. Meanwhile, on the other side, Betao's in a fight with Frosty and Envy. He's not a lot of time. That leaves Furia with a numbers advantage up on the top side. Aegis able to get the res. Goot as well. The redemption comes down. He's going to escape with his clone. Cue the yakety yak music. We have got an absolute wild one. Fights breaking out all over the Rift. It's like a prison riot here. Fights everywhere. IU almost gets the W down. Envy, beautiful stopwatch. Saves his life. Almost times the Mystic Shot does IU. 2 kills over to Red at the end of that.
Anytime we see these crazy fights break out of seemingly nowhere, expect to see Red win it. I mean, Furia, they thought they got the pick. I thought they got the pick, but the GAs are starting to come through. And for Red, as long as they can stall, as long as they can make sure Furia don't gather together, they will eventually win out those skirmishes. Batao, the equalizer, was kept so far away from the critical end of the fight. Yeah, Batao didn't die, but he also couldn't help get kills.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate is so huge. Like you said, the damage falls off, but it's still, oh my goodness, stopwatch there from IU. I can't even talk. Oh, the Shadow Surge doesn't find anyone. Envy's going to have to take the scenic route down. There goes the equalizer. It actually has to take down Frosty. Tuts getting the kill there. Red a little fragmented. Tuts got the reset. He's rocket jumping forward. Those autos hit like a truck. Oh, look at that flash. He sidestepped the Shadow Surge. Betao with the team. He's dead. Over the top. Buys his team time. He gets killed. But will that help him, his team, get the kills? It looks like it will. FNB trying to take someone down with him. Oh my goodness. Kasante is disgusting. He gets 1, but it's a 4 for 2 in favor of Furia. And now they've got purchase onto this mid tower.
Ain't nobody got time for Elder Drake right now. It hasn't even spawned yet. We've had 2 major team fights. Furia are looking to end the game. 40-second death timers. The Furia kids might actually be able to pull a massive upset against the sole top first place team, Red Canids.
It's a 3 versus 1. Frosty is back in 3-2-1 right now. He goes as fast as his stubby little legs will let him. He goes in, but Aegis is just a buy. The damage will not be enough. I mean, Gouda's actually taking pretty low here. He's popping the Cyclone. He doesn't have enough damage to take down the upset. It will be so. Zai just tried it with the Rel. He's
Titan!
They save it! Salvage it! Red Canids
How do they keep getting away with this?
How many times have Red done this? This is not the first game where they've had an exposed Nexus. Liberty did it. Kaboom! Pushed them. Furia almost takes it, but Red will not die. Elder is on the table, and this time Red have the edge. Can they take it? And if they do, can they push out with the exposed Nexus?
And they've got everything they need to take down the Elder Drake. Titan and Aegis are going to melt this thing. This was it for Furia. They had their window, and you know what? They went for the home run swing. But this is what you get. RMC, what's your take on that? I mean, they had the numbers advantage. Surely they should have won that. It was against Aegis and Frosty.
It was down to what, maybe 2-3 autos to take that Nexus?
Yeah, problem is, Zai was the one autoing it.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the heat of the moment, right? Like, getting distracted. I mean, it's still really annoying when Frosty's hitting you. Aegis actually has kill threat, and unfortunately for Furia, in the heat of the moment, it kind of backfires a little bit. The fight that kicks this off, by the way, I cast the curses. I said if the fight breaks out, Red should win it, but Furia played it so well backwards, and because they were grouped, they were able to land everything this time. The red carpet cuts everybody off, and the call from Furia is good. I kind of want to just fast forward to that Nexus side, though, because this was done. FNB buys a crap ton of time, and Aegis surviving there makes all the difference, because Aegis has CC in spades. Frosty being low level respawns first and has CC in spades. And that's what buys the time for Red to actually.
And he took down Tuts. If Tuts was a part of that fight, those objectives go down way faster. I think Furia win that.
Yeah, that's a Tristan. That is the premier structure breaking person. Now, you can see FNB sitting backwards in base a little bit. That's because there's the risk of a backdoor to come through from the Tristana. So they have to be really, really careful. Like, there's no minions even pushing. FNB is literally just playing defense and has TP. So Furia, you're kind of saved in that. That's why I question, can Red actually push out with this Elder buff, with this Baron buff? Because if they overextend, if they die, it's game over.
Look at this.
He's like gatekeeper.
He's like a goalkeeper, just sitting back there while the rest of his team is trying to win the game. He's just like, all right, nothing's getting by here. Hands up, I dare you. I triple dog dare you. He's just standing there. And with the Elder Dragon, with the Baron buff, Red have a 4v5. Like you said, RMC, it's just about not getting caught out at this point because they've got a lot of tools at their disposal to almost make up for the fact that they don't have a member of their team.
Yeah, and their pick potential is still there, right? FNB was never a part of that pick. He's more about peeling, about causing chaos in the fight and removing critical targets. So a safety buffer, if you will, and Red just don't need that with the Elder. That's 2 inhibitors already. I think probably around 30 seconds left on that Elder or somewhere around that. So Red, you still have Baron buff, but that's not as important as the ability to just execute members of your can they cheese one last time?
I think that's what they're looking to do. Like you said, the pick potential is so high. Titan, invisible, FNB, he is acting as... Yeah, the guy in the audience who I thought was cosplaying as a turret and was actually cosplaying as Zed. No. FNB is doing a turret cosplay. He's just standing there saying, absolutely no one is getting behind me. I will die before that happens. And he actually cleared out a ward that was in that kind of red side bot lane Tribrush area, kind of around there. I don't know how the heck he saw it. But
probably
he was able to clear it out. Yeah.
That's my assumption at any rate. Well,
hey, you can get some...
Either way, it's good. You want to deny that away, and now the teams are kind of on slightly even footing for the next minute. Red is waiting for that mid inhibitor to respawn, and then they actually get to push out. There's no objectives to take, though, and for Red right now, yes, you want to keep finding things, which is why they've littered aggressively the Furia side of the map with wards. So as soon as that inhib respawns, you know they're going to be pushing out. Furia is supposed to be a little bit careful about how they want to handle this. Somebody needs to stay at home and do their FNB cosplay to defend against super minions. But if the rest of the team gets caught out when that happens, 4-second TP, the fight will be over before the TP channel completes.
10 seconds left until that mid inhibitor goes up. The Red Canids fans can exhale just a little bit. The start of their first round robin, a spicy one, RMC. A 6,000 gold lead at this point. We've crested the 40-minute mark. Will not mean much. Baron up in 2 minutes and change. Elder Dragon up in 2 minutes. You see, yeah, Red posturing just very aggressively, knowing that they can just one-tap somebody. Yeah,
and they're just tossing out those Void Seekers as much as possible. Who can we find? 4-4. before we go into this game, I remember we were talking about the day one match between Furia and Red and how that was the stereotypical CBLOL diff game, the insanity, the back and forth, the hyped emotions, the clutch plays, and that game, Titan became the hero. 49.3% damage share. One man did half the damage of his team, dragged them kicking and screaming towards victory. Back then, Red was not united. They were struggling to play as a team. This game, they are united, and if anything, I'm still looking for the hero. Who steps up here? Will Titan do it again with a pick? Or can Furia do it this time? Will it be Goot into the backline? Will it be Ayu to be able to kite out a fight? The board's open for anyone to take this game.
It's extremely exciting. This is exactly what we wanted between these two teams. The power of friendship, the super kids against the super team. Red imported Envy and FNB. Envy, a two-time champion with INTZ and Flamengo. Titan, a four-time champion. Aegis, a two-time champion. 8 CBLOL titles between these players on Red. Want to know how many on Furia? 0. Or actually, no, just 1. I lied. Tuts. Let's not forget. That was the COVID
split.
one, so he didn't get to go international. That was 2020 split 1. Fine. But he has won the CBLOL. But Tuts, in his first season back after a dip down to Academy. So he's on a bit of a redemption arc himself. FNB shoving that final wave into the top lane, into the base of Furia. Now FNB, instead of playing defense here, he's kind of playing a one-man offense. Like you said, RMC, he's a duelist.
Yeah. He's that monster solo kill guy who we'll always look at to be the clutch carry when it matters. And in playoffs, it hasn't worked out, but we're still in regular season. And you know what? Where else would FNB go but home? Back into Furia's base, because this guy came from Furia, and now he's actually landing this pressure onto Furia. Same with Envy. Red looking for the collapse. Zai, is he caught out?
Zai is caught somewhere. No, he goes forward with the Magnet Storm. Good with the layer and the CC over the top. Ayu and Touch are free-firing, but their front lines are melting. The carries are going down. Frosty is low, but he is not dead. Aegis trying to lay the CC down on Ayu, but he's cutting it backwards beautifully. Aegis has enough gap clear, though. Titan trying to play this as best as he can. Clutch players make clutch plays. RMC. Titan is a killer, and he might have just clutched the game for
Triple! We asked for a hero. Titan did it the last time. Titan did it again. When it mattered against Furia, the triple kill to end this game. And Patel, you're alive. You weren't at the fight. Equalizer didn't matter then. It will not matter on this push now.
He's still got the R button to press. He gets it down, but like you said, it won't matter. He goes all I feel the might of Nazuma. Feel the might of the regular season king. FNB buying his team enough time. Did I just curse it? Oh, please no. Aegis is going to take down Patel. He's got his Guardian Angel. Patel has
no shot.
Titan.
No shot.
Melting this Nexus finally. Oh my goodness. My heart, my soul, my entire body and being. Red, pull it out. Another banger for their 9th win.
Oh my goodness, Red. I can't believe that.